Hey guys, this is Edward, and I'm going to be talking to you all about why I moved to Texas. So, a little bit of background: I was born and raised in California, particularly grew up in Ventura County, and then lived in Los Angeles County for a little bit of time. I moved in June 2017 to Dallas, Texas. I've had a couple of friends convince me all about moving to Texas, and it wasn't until recently that I decided to pull the trigger and then move over. So, I'm going to be describing a couple different sections like career, family, lifestyle slash cost of living, fun, and what I missed about California. So, number one, we're going to start off with career. The opportunities for career growth are large already in Texas, and they're still growing. Businesses are moving to Texas, and I'm going to name some examples: Toyota, Oracle, Restoration Hardware, Visa, Apple, Roku, Hyundai, Raytheon. And why are they doing this? Well, high taxes, excessive regulations, and ridiculous lawsuits in California. I know Proposition 30 passed, and that was probably a contributing factor to all this stuff. More time to pull permits in California as well. And housing, not really affordable when you're in California. Other alternatives to living in California were Denver, Colorado, Atlanta, and Seattle, but I ultimately landed here. And I'm just going to keep talking to you all about that. So I'm a consultant. I work as like a business doctor. I go to business and then fix its problems. And being in Texas, it's actually a central hub for the particular sector of work that I do. I work in technology, and it's a shorter distance to clients. Even flying is a shorter distance. And I recently got my CISSP passed, so I'm well on my way to taking advantage of what I can while I'm here in Texas. Number two is family. It's a significantly shorter commute here than in California. So when I talk about significantly shorter, in California, I used to drive 1 hour and 30 minutes one way, even up to 2 hours and 30 minutes one way just to get to work and come back. Now, there are some times when I had to fly across the country from California to Indianapolis, New York, Florida, you name it. And that was the drive of 1 hour and 30 minutes or even 2 hours and 30 minutes, plus the flight time of 4 hours across the country, and then having to double up on that again. So basically, my Sundays were pretty much gone when I lived in California, but not in Texas. The maximum time that I would fly is about 2 hours and 30 minutes, and I could fly to like California, Indianapolis, Florida, the places that I mentioned, in pretty much 2 hours and 30 minutes. So being in the center really helps in terms of family, and that shorter commute time allows me to focus on family more than I did. So second up in family, you could easily get established quickly in Texas than in LA. So a $700,000 house in Texas is pretty much a mansion. And you probably don't need that. Probably $200,000 to $300,000 is more reasonable. Now, in Texas, that house is $200,000 to $300,000, but in California, you'd be paying like double or even triple that amount just to live in the same house. Now, also, everything's pretty much closer and centralized in Dallas, Texas, so I could drive 30 minutes in any direction and I could get to most places, like North Park. North Park is like Beverly Hills. We have Joe Pool Lake for water, Cedar Hill for mountains, Fort Worth for racetracks and bars, downtown for sites, hipsters, and other stuff, and then Asian markets and food centers all centrally located. So lifestyle and cost of living, income tax. If you make $100,000 a year, you're paying 9.3% in California, but not in Texas. That 9.3% that you'd be paying in California goes straight into your pockets. That's like $9,300. Now in Texas, you get taxed exclusively by how large you live, rather than being taxed by the state and then having to pay for your cost of living on top of that. So what do I mean by that? That means if I make a lot of money, but I choose to live in a small house, I could be keeping a lot more money. Versus if I were to choose a bigger house, I'd be paying, of course, progressively higher tax based on that. So bigger home or bigger vehicle in Texas means more tax, and that's pretty much the basis of it. Now, in Texas, you could pretty much max your 401k. You could save money to spend on things. You could do pretty much what you want with that extra income tax money that you're saving now. And for housing, I'm living in a $150,000 house that I pay $950 a month for. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-car garage, 2-bathroom, 1,200 square feet, and nicely renovated as well. Now in California, the same property would be $450,000. So just to give you an example. And car costs, you're talking about $2 a gallon for gas here for regular gas, versus in California, you're paying $3 a gallon for regular gas. Now, food here is about the same, even cheaper. Like I've seen eggs in like 30 cents range, which is freaking ridiculous. Now, people here, they're friendlier here than they are in Texas. They're more legitimate. Like even the policeman that pulled me over on my way into Texas actually welcomed me and didn't give me a ticket. Now, in terms of diversity, whites, black, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, etc., I find the distribution balanced quite evenly here in Texas. And people here aren't really racist. I haven't had that issue yet. No bullies or anything, and it's pretty nice. Now, weather is the one main reason why people don't like to move, but I'm going to describe it to you here. The highest can be like a desert, like hundreds in summer. Lows can be like 20s to 30s in the winter. There are heavier rains, stronger winds, and risk of tornado and hail here in Texas than in California. But of course, I have insurance, and my electricity bill is a lot cheaper here than it is in California. So go figure. Now, from a dreams perspective, part of the reason why Toyota headquarters moved from Torrance to here is because of the cost of housing. Now, since I was a kid, I've liked really nice things, and I've always dreamt about raising a family. And in Texas, it's actually really possible, and I can still save money in the process. So that's a pretty cool thing to think about, being able to move from California to here. And one thing that most people should keep in mind is like raising a family is a lot easier here than it is in California. Now, in terms of fun, I have all the activities I mentioned, like shopping, even going outdoors. There are meetups, like car meets, at least once a month since I'm a big car guy. Quarterly events. I know there's a big Texas State Fair that people really like to go to. And Texas is a very proud state. Like people here like to wave the Texas and American flags. And that is just really awesome. So for fun, I can just go out, less than 30 minutes drive, and I could be having fun already rather than being in LA and having to drive quite a while to get to where I need to go. So now last thing, what I miss about California. Habit Burger. That was such a nice burger place. Actually, well, I could just fly there and get some Habit Burger and come back. But beyond the points, I do miss the fact that not all of my friends and family are here yet. I'm here as like a pilot setting the stage for other people to come here. So my brother, the rest of the family, hoping they come here. Now, that would be cool. Now, places here close earlier than they do in Los Angeles. So I know in Los Angeles I could go out at 1 a.m. and go to like a boba shop. Here I go out at 1 a.m. and probably a bar, a Kohl's, and a Walmart are open. And cheaper flights, but given that I'm saving 9.3% in income tax and I'm able to set Google alerts, the difference isn't really that big living in Texas versus California in terms of buying flights. But basically everything is here minus the beach and the weather. So if you're really looking for a life that you can fully live, Texas is actually a pretty good place to look. And of course, if you're not looking at Texas, look at other California alternatives like Denver, Atlanta, and Seattle. Those are pretty nice places to live too. But for me, my home is Texas. So guys, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have to say about living in Texas and moving here from California. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next video. Bye.